Here's a little more good news. A federal judge just blocked the Trump administration from firing thousands of federal workers in the middle of the government shutdown. Judge Susan Ilston said the administration likely went beyond its legal authority, trying to cut more than 4,000 federal jobs and possibly up to 10,000, according to some estimates. They were literally sending out mass layoff notices while the government was closed, and unions had to rush to court to stop it. The judge said it looked like they tried to take advantage of the lapse in government functioning, which, if true, is beyond unethical. So for now, the layoffs are temporarily blocked. Treasury, IRS, and other agencies were about to lose half their staff, people who still have bills, kids, and rent due, just like the rest of us. This is a rare moment where the system actually stepped in and said, no, you can't do that to people. But make no mistake, this is just a pause. And if this ruling gets overturned, thousands of livelihoods are right back on the line. So yeah, good news. But I'm still watching because the fight is far from over.
Breaking news out of Northern California, federal judge Suzanne Ilston sided with federal employees, AFGE, and Democracy Forward in granting a temporary restraining order against the Trump administration from firing federal employees that the Trump administration had issued RIF notices for, attempting to mass fire thousands of federal employees, all because Congress had not done their jobs and there had been a lapse in appropriation. Now, Russell Voigt had determined that he could legally do this, even though federal judges had previously ruled that Office of Management and Budget and OPM could not direct agencies to fire federal employees. Now, Judge Ilston said what they were doing was illegal and that it appeared to be partisan in nature. She also said that they were taking a ready, aim, fire approach at cutting programs and departments as well as people. And there was a real human cost to that, and she would not stand by and allow that human cost to happen. She said that the administration is acting without thinking through their decisions. So until the administration appeals this to the Ninth Circuit, for now, there's a temporary restraining order issued blocking the Trump administration from moving forward with firing federal employees during the government.
So the United States is still on shutdown, and the Trump administration has been laying off federal workers. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So all credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, in today's video, so a federal judge has just stopped Trump from laying off thousands of federal workers while the government is still shut down. Yeah guys, that's a huge deal. So the judge said that these layoffs should not happen during a shutdown, and for now people can keep their jobs, right? And this case started because big labor unions like the AFG and the AFSCME stepped in to fight it. They said that the layoffs were illegal and, probably more of being political motivated. Now, guys, we are talking about thousands of people across departments like education, commerce, and health. Some of these agencies have already cut almost 90% of their staff. Guys, imagine being one of those people, right? You are unsure if you still have a job tomorrow. Honestly, guys, I cannot even imagine the stress that those workers are under right now, because just think about it. 900,000 federal employees have been followed, right? And another 700,000 are working without pay. Guys, there's nothing more insane than that. And some of these departments have more than 80% of their staff basically frozen out of their jobs. Guys, people are stressed. Let's see what these creators have to say, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.
For the Department of Education and all the firings that have recently happened. Here's the deal. A judge just hit the pause button on the Trump administration's plan to fire a bunch of federal workers. What does that mean in plain English? Basically, all the firing, the layoffs, that is currently on hold. No one is getting permanently rehired yet, but no one is getting the boot. That means for the Department of Education, for anyone that is left, all of firing is on a hold. That doesn't mean that people are going to be rehired yet. We are in a waiting game now. We do not know if this will end in a full reinstatement. We are just not at that point yet. So next step, we need to keep an eye on the legal process. We will have to watch if this administration appeals and how the court handles the situation. Basically, we're going to see a legal tug of war. I'm checking the court dockets literally every single day. So as soon as I see something, I will let you guys.
A federal judge here in California has just dealt a pretty big blow to the Trump administration. So let me tell you what it's all about. This all has to do with the current government shutdown, which is now in its second week. So beginning last Friday, the Trump administration followed through on one of its promises to begin laying off federal employees who were already furloughed. We're talking about some 4,000 of them from departments including Treasury, Homeland Security, and the Department of Education. Well, a federal judge from the Northern District of California is now calling that action, quote, contrary to the law. And as a result, has issued a temporary restraining order, which now blocks the Trump administration from laying off any federal worker during the current government shutdown.
Guys, what do you think? I think this is just fair, right? Because blocking these layoffs, it gives people a little breathing room. Like, it's not the full solution, yeah? But these workers are still in limbo, and that is really scary. Because they don't know if they will get paid. People are stressed if they lose their jobs. This is not good. I mean, they're already stressed. Now imagine losing their jobs. And this is just dragging on. This shutdown is moving into the third week, and nobody knows what is going to happen in weeks to come. And many people, many of those federal workers have already said they are worried about paying bills, rent, or even buying food. And we know that those are the essential things for survival, right? And day by day, the uncertainty is just crushing. And honestly, with so little communication from the agencies, it's just making everything worse. People are not happy. Many Americans are seeing the shutdown as a huge problem. And different polls, that have been undertaken are saying that 90% of people think that this shutdown is really serious. And I mean, let this thing just be opened, right? Because the ripple effect that it is having is not good, guys. People are pointing accusing fingers at both sides of politics, and the Republicans and the Democrats are not ready to back down. Nobody is ready to bend the knee for the other, and the people that are facing the consequences of these actions are the American people. And this shutdown can cost the economy up to $15 billion per day, right? Slow down growth, messing with all the services that people depend on, small businesses and all of that, guys. It's not just about these federal employees, it's about the country as a whole. Let's see what these other critics have to say.
A federal judge today temporarily blocked the Trump administration from firing more than 4,000 federal workers. The mass layoffs began last week, with the Trump administration making good on the threat that during the government shutdown, if it went on for too long, that they would begin the process of shedding parts of the federal workforce. An emergency order was issued today, which temporarily puts the brakes on those terminations. I had a whole conversation with federal employment attorney Jay Ward Murrow, and I asked the question whether or not these terminations were legal in the first place. Here's what he told me.
The Anti-Deficiency Act seems to be on point for this, and that seemed to be in the litigation as well. And in that, when they've run out of appropriated funds, it is illegal to continue to spend money that you don't have, with certain exceptions. The military, there's different exceptions. But if you lay somebody off and you send a RIF notice and there's severance that's due, then you're spending money that has not been appropriated for, and that's actually illegal under the Anti-Deficiency Act, or at least it would certainly appear to be. I'm not sure what the agencies might try to argue back, but also, and there's been some litigation around RIFs, they have to be done in a certain process, a certain kind of procedure. You've got to give 60 days notice. Well, if people are on RIF status, they're not allowed to go on their computer. So if you're giving them their RIF notice by email, they're not going to be able to get it. They're not going to get 60 days. They're going to have no notice.
No doubt these terminations and these layoffs that we've seen even prior to the last few weeks have had a substantial impact on unemployment in areas like D.C., Maryland, and
whole federal judiciary acting as blatant partisans now. A federal judge in California just blocked the president from firing federal employees and said this about the Trump administration. It has taken advantage of the lapse in government spending and government functioning to assume that all bets are off, that the laws don't apply to them anymore. This is her actual court order, not a New York Times op-ed. This same federal judge was already overturned by the Supreme Court earlier this year on a similar restraining order. Someone should tell her Bill Clinton fired over 250,000 federal workers, and the Supreme Court's been clear, along with the Constitution. The president has the authority to shape the federal work.
What is this one saying? Sometimes I don't even understand how some people think. Like, these are people's livelihoods that we are talking about, and you are here talking about the president has the chance to shape in the federal government or whatever it is that he's talking about. Guys, my take is that the judge's decision is huge for those workers. I mean, it gives them, this little reassurance that, oh, okay, maybe, just maybe, I will not wake up tomorrow and get an email that I have been fired, okay? And it just shows that the court can step in when things get out of hand. Guys, this is a wake-up call for those that have not woken up, that this politics do not just affect politicians. I mean, it practically does not even affect the politicians. It affects real people and real lives who make real life decisions on a daily basis. Guys, there needs to be a solution, and that solution needs to come ASAP, because workers need security, the economy needs stability, and honestly, I feel that the American people deserve better. Guys, everyone is affected when the government stops working. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. Let me know your take about this halt in mass firing by the courts. I really want to hear from you. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is really important. Ciao.